Right now on Good Morning America, first look, extreme weather affecting millions on the coasts. In the west, flooding downpours prompting multiple rescues in Southern California as it rains on the Rose Bowl parade for the first time in decades. And in the northeast, millions dealing with below zero temperatures and feet of snow.
Tragedy in Switzerland. The new details emerging from the bar fire at a ski resort that left dozens dead and over 100 injured. What survivors say they saw just before the fire broke out.
Historic first day.
We will set an example for the world.
Zohran Mamdani signing executive orders just hours after being sworn in as New York City's first Muslim mayor, as he looks to deliver on his bold campaign promises.
College football drama. Underdog Ole Miss taking out the Georgia Bulldogs in thrilling fashion. Plus, the other big bowl game setting the semifinals stage.
Plus, the new roller coaster that claims to be the tallest, longest, and fastest in the world.
And caught on camera, the hatching of two baby bald eagles, born in separate years.
And why does that referee look so familiar? Will Ferrell steals the show at an NHL game. It's Friday, January 2nd.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Battah. We begin with the extreme weather many millions of Americans are experiencing on both coasts.
Yeah, it's an unwelcome start of the new year. First, the frigid temperatures and snow measured in feet here in the Northeast.
Meanwhile, on the West Coast, there is cleanup from the New Year's storm as another storm moves in.
From blinding snow in the east to flash floods in the west, the new year is kicking off with extreme weather on both coasts. In Southern California, the already saturated region dealing with another round of heavy rain. Streams of mud could be seen flowing over barriers set up in areas ravaged by wildfires. Intense flooding swamping streets in San Diego, triggering numerous rescues. Rain poured down on the 137th Rose Parade for the first time in 20 years. With no umbrellas allowed, parade goers braving the weather in ponchos, performers getting soaked along the route. Crews sweeping water off the field at the Rose Bowl ahead of the big game between Alabama and Indiana. The rain finally let up before kickoff. Across the country, powerful lake effect snow moving into the northeast, blanketing parts of upstate New York. Some areas in the region could see up to 2 feet by tomorrow. The conditions making for treacherous travel on the roads.
It was kind of miserable going down. Some parts, you basically couldn't see in front of you.
Outside Pittsburgh, a lightning flash was caught on camera as thunder snow hit the area. A blast of Arctic air is also impacting millions from Michigan to Maine, with wind chills expected to dip as low as 15 degrees below zero. But temperatures in the 20s on New Year's Day did not stop hundreds of people in New York from diving into icy waters for the annual polar plunge.
Relief from the cold is on the way. By next week, much of the country can expect warmer than normal temperatures.
In Colorado, a rare and deadly attack is under investigation. Officials say a woman was killed in a suspected mountain lion attack. If confirmed, it would be the first deadly incident involving a cougar since 1997. According to authorities, hikers found a mountain lion about 100 yards away from the victim's body yesterday afternoon.
As they started to get closer, they started to scare the lion from the area by throwing rocks at the animal, and it eventually went away, but they found an adult woman lying on the trail. One of the witnesses is a physician and did not find a pulse.
Wildlife officers euthanized 2 mountain lions found near the scene.
Now to the New Year's Day tragedy in Switzerland. Dozens killed and more than 100 injured by a fast-spreading fire at a resort bar. Here's ABC's Tom Burridge.
The deadly bar inferno at a New Year's celebration in a Swiss ski resort. The death toll now standing at around 40 people, with more than 100 injured. This video showing flames spreading on the ceiling in that crowded venue as music blares. Wish! Another video capturing the desperate effort to get out.
People was walking on everybody, and trying to escape. And a lot of people were screaming.
Switzerland's president calling the blaze at the Crans-Montana resort in the Swiss Alps one of the worst tragedies our country has ever experienced. An investigation is now underway to determine the cause, which authorities believe to be an accident. Victoria was in the bar when the fire started and says she saw waiters carrying giant sparklers with bottles of champagne too close to the ceiling. Around the same time it caught fire.
The sparklers that were alight were right next to the ceiling.
Exactly, and so it took a fire, and I realized, me and my friends, we were the first one to realize that there was fire.
Authorities now racing to identify the victims, who are from multiple countries, as desperate families now wait for word. Nane Gasparian and her friends telling me they know people who were either killed or injured.
I can't believe that all this happened. It's very terrifying.
Now leaving flowers at a growing memorial. Officials say the investigation has just begun and identifying the victims could take days. Tom Sufi-Burridge, ABC News in the Swiss Alps.
Tom, thank you. The search has been suspended for a cruise ship passenger who went overboard north of Cuba. Coast Guard says the 77-year-old woman was traveling on Holland America's New Staten Dam. Crews searched for 8 hours in an area about 700 square miles. Holland America says it is providing support to the woman's family. It is not known how she went overboard.
Turning now to the double murder of a dentist and his wife in Columbus, Ohio. Police say they currently have no suspects. Spencer and Monique Tepe were found dead from a gunshot wound inside their home Tuesday. Their 2 children were also there and unharmed. Police say there was no sign of forced entry and no weapon found at the scene. Authorities do not believe it was a murder-suicide. The couple was found after his colleagues called police after he failed to show up to their dental office where he works.
Yesterday was New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's first day on the job, and he started signing executive orders just moments after his historic inauguration. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Well, good morning. It's a new era in New York City after 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani was sworn in as mayor, becoming the first Muslim to lead the city and the youngest in over 100 years, and he wasted no time getting to work.
This morning, newly inaugurated New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani hitting the ground running. Mamdani yesterday signing executive orders aimed at protecting renters and building new housing.
These are sweeping measures, but it is just the beginning of a comprehensive effort to champion the cause of tenants too long ignored and homes too expensive.
Mamdani celebrating his inauguration with tens of thousands of supporters at City Hall. The 34-year-old Democratic Socialist becoming the first Muslim mayor of New York City, taking his oath of office on a Quran.
I know there are some who view this administration with distrust. I promise you this. If you are a New Yorker, I am your mayor. Regardless of whether we agree, I will protect you, celebrate with you, mourn alongside you, and never, not for a second, hide from you.
Mamdani using his inaugural speech promising to deliver on his progressive agenda.
There are many who will be watching. They want to know if the left can govern. We will do something that New Yorkers do better than anyone else. We will set an example for the world. I was elected as a Democratic Socialist, and I will govern as a Democratic Socialist.
Mamdani's meteoric rise from obscurity to the face of the progressive movement. He portrayed himself as the ideological opposite of President Trump, who branded him a communist and a threat to the city's survival. But the two struck a surprising truce during a White House sit-down in November, their shared focus on the affordability crisis creating an unexpected political overlap.
He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with.
That is something that could transform the lives of 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty.
And Mamdani also erasing the final chapter of the prior Eric Adams administration, revoking all executive orders signed after Adams was federally indicted in 2024. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. President Trump is offering some new details about his health. He tells the Wall Street Journal he actually underwent a CT scan in October instead of an MRI. Last month, the president's doctor called the scan preventative and indicated it was an evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. He also said it was perfectly normal.
Time now for your morning weather.
Good morning. This cold blast continues. Wind chills could dip down to 11 in New York City, 15 to 19 degrees below zero across portions of Maine. But we'll likely see warmer than normal temperatures east of the Rockies heading into next week, cooler than normal for California. One of the spots that's getting additional rain they don't need since the ground is so saturated. A widespread 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible, with snowfall totals approaching 2 to 4 feet in the mountains. For ABC News, I'm meteorologist Brittany Bell.
Coming up, the sports legend making a remarkable return at 45 years old.
Also ahead, the classic characters that have just entered the public domain.
And nursing a New Year's hangover, why many are trading the champagne for a dry start to 2026.
Back now with the classic character Betty Boop, who leads the class of 2026 intellectual property that is now in the public domain. That means creators can use or repurpose them without permission or payment. Entering the public domain happens when the 95-year U.S. copyright maximum has been reached. Also in this year's class, comic strip character Blondie and 9 new Mickey Mouse cartoons.
45-year-old Venus Williams is returning to this month's Australian Open for the first time in 5 years. She's received a wild card entry into this year's first Grand Slam tournament. Venus finished runner-up down under twice, losing to her sister Serena both times.
With New Year's Eve now more than 24 hours behind us, a growing number of people are embracing dry January. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, New Year's resolutions are in full effect, and for many, it's going alcohol-free to start the year with so-called dry January.
Dry January is just another way that people can put a mirror up to their own relationship with alcohol.
1/3 of Americans participated in dry January last year, and studies show that about 75% of them made it through the whole month. The sober movement began more than 12 years ago and is gaining in popularity.
We hear so much about addiction and opioids and drug trafficking. Well, alcohol just doesn't seem to get the attention that it should, given all of the harms it causes to ourselves, our communities. A year ago, the Surgeon General put out an advisory demonstrating the direct link between alcohol and cancer, specifically even breast cancer and a lot of the digestive cancers.
Studies found that participants who went alcohol-free for 1 month showed decreased liver fat, lower blood sugar, improved sleep, and better concentration within weeks. Alcohol-free alternatives, or mocktails, are growing in popularity.
I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy non-alcoholic French 75 in the glass.
And doctors recommend taking temptation out of the equation.
Seltzers, non-alcoholic beers, of course, avoiding high-risk situations. If you're going to engage in dry January, maybe avoiding going to meet up with your friends at the bar after work or something like that.
Studies show that after dry January, successful participants were overall consuming fewer drinks. Doctors applauding the trend as the number of adults who say they drink alcohol has fallen to 54%, the lowest in 90 years.
Online communities and apps like dryjanuaryusa.org can provide support. Experts say even if you don't make it through the full month, just attempting the challenge can still deliver health benefits. Hannah, Sophie. Coming up, diamond rings reaching new heights.
Also ahead, why more people are trading a doctor's office visit for a plane ticket as they look to save thousands on a new look.
Back now with a pair of marriage proposals made on Mount Everest. According to People magazine, the couples got engaged at a base camp in Nepal last month at an altitude of more than 17,000 feet.
What an epic way to get engaged. Hair transplants are becoming more popular but remain pretty expensive here in the United States. Now, many are traveling overseas to save money on the procedure. ABC's Lionel Moise reports.
You may have seen the viral videos online, men with bandages on heads boarding flights or lined up at hotels, all choosing to make the trip all the way to Turkey for hair transplants.
It's a phenomenon that we call medical tourism. They tend to offer global packages with transport and housing at the time, and I think that's appealing to people primarily for the cost savings, which are substantial.
In a hair transplant, doctors take follicular units from the back of the scalp, where hair tends to grow forever, and implant them in the front, where we're more prone to hair loss.
So the transplanted hair, done nicely, aesthetically, and properly, should last indefinitely and literally grow for a person's lifetime.
Depending on the practice, the procedure could cost $10,000 or more if done in the U.S., but many patients are finding deep discounts by using medical tourism services. Mike Gaia, one of the writers behind TV shows including Insecure, has been documenting his journey on social media.
So I'm getting a hair transplant. A hair transplant? Yup.
The service he used covered his flights, hotel, the procedure, and a 6-month supply of supplements and shampoos.
What is the price for something like this?
So the price is $2,800. Which is not bad at all compared to other places. I flew Wednesday, got there Thursday, had my procedure Friday, was back on the plane Saturday. And it was pretty seamless.
It's an alternative to popular hair loss meds like minoxidil and finasteride, used to treat pattern baldness and other causes of hair loss, which can affect both men and women. Gaio joining a growing list of hair influencers. And while he says he was confident and content with being bald the past 10 years, he's excited for this new chapter.
Can you put a price on the feeling that you have now?
You really can't. You really can't put a price on it. Having hair again satisfies a nostalgia, right? From a time when you had hair, but also it satisfies this new idea of yourself that you can't wait to explore again.
Even when traveling abroad, though, doctors say you should consult a licensed professional and also do your research before booking that flight. Hannah, Sophie?
Lionel, thank you. Well, some late night drama in the college football playoff. Georgia and Ole Miss were tied at 34 before the Rebels won it, thanks in part to a field goal with 6 seconds to play. Ole Miss takes it 39-34. They play Miami next. And earlier, Indiana had their way against Alabama, the Hoosiers blowing out the Tide 38-3. Indiana faces Oregon in the next round.
Coming up, the New Year's celebration so big it set a world record.
Plus, meet the newborn bald eagle siblings born in different years.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with a record-setting celebration.
Yeah, you thought your New Year's Eve party was big? Try this one in Rio de Janeiro. The Brazilian Bash has the blessing from Guinness as the world's largest. 2.5 million people packed the Copacabana beach.
Yeah, there was also a fireworks show that was complemented by the largest drone ballet in Brazil. Next, a big debut in Saudi Arabia.
A record-breaking roller coaster is now open to the public in Saudi Arabia. Check out Falcon's Flight. The Riyadh Six Flags claims the coaster is the world's tallest, fastest, and longest. It's more than 2.5 miles long, reaches top speeds of 150 miles per hour, and takes riders 640 feet in the air, all during a heart-pounding 3-minute ride. Now to a very special baby bird.
Call it a symbol of what will be a year-long celebration. This youngster hatched just hours after midnight New Year's Day. And seeing as this year is the nation's 250th anniversary, the little bird's owners are calling it the 250th eaglet. And get this, the older sibling was born one day before on New Year's Eve, so these two were technically born in separate years. Finally, Will Ferrell spent his New Year's Day with his favorite hockey team.
He was in his usual seat watching the LA Kings and dressed in a full referee's uniform, joking during the interview that he was ready to spring into action if needed. And it's not the first time he's dressed for a Kings game. Check this out. The famous elf costume. Checking more top stories. A woman has been found dead on a Colorado trail, the victim of an apparent mountain lion attack. If confirmed, it would be the state's first such death in nearly 30 years. Wildlife officials say 2 mountain lions discovered near the scene were euthanized.
President Trump is delaying a tariff on imported housewares. The tax would have added 30% to upholstered furniture prices and 50% to kitchen cabinets and vanities. The White House says it had pushed back a year, citing productive talks with trade partners.
Russia says a Ukrainian drone attack killed 24 people celebrating New Year's in a Russian-held area of southern Ukraine. The violence comes as Ukraine says a peace deal is 90% ready, but the last 10%, including several disputed issues.
Today's weather, bitter cold with lake effect snow for the Northeast and Midwest. A new storm starting tonight brings more rain and mountain snow to the west.
And finally, automakers are introducing a bunch of new high-tech features to get people back in the driver's seat.
ABC's Danny New has more.
In the era of cars with touchscreen interfaces, do you ever miss just when you could hit a physical button and turn on the radio?
When you're driving, you like to just know, oh, this is the AC button, not to look at a screen, which you can't really feel. You see with your fingers when you're driving it.
Sure, absolutely.
Ed Kim here is the president of Auto Pacific, an automotive market research and consulting firm. As we preview big changes in automobiles and technology in 2026, he says companies will be responding to consumer complaints about cars' reliance on screens.
They're bringing back physical controls, real buttons, real knobs, real switches back into vehicles.
We also talked about the continuing effort to make electric vehicles sound a little more like vroom vroom. For example, Porsche's new Cayenne Electric will feature sound technology to make the car sound like it has a roaring engine. And hybrids will also start to incorporate this concept more too, like the new Honda Prelude.
Simulates the sound and performance of an 8-speed automatic transmission, even though the Prelude actually doesn't even have a transmission.
Meanwhile, we knew at some point AI would be making a cameo in here. Ed says automakers like Rivian will be using AI to power their semi-autonomous driving features in big ways. While he says Tesla's uses mostly AI and cameras for detection, Rivian's will also incorporate radar and later in 2026, LiDAR. LiDAR is like radar, but with lasers. Meanwhile, guys, the robo-taxi service Waymo has been working on expanding beyond largely California and Arizona in cities such as Miami, Dallas, Houston, and Orlando.
Danny.
Love Danny.
Yeah, love those sound effects too. Thanks, Danny.
I'm happy to see buttons are back too.
Yeah.
I always like them.
That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great weekend, everyone.